Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Motif Magazine Between the Notes podcast, running Mondays at 7:30 at the Parlour in Providence, your favorite music venue. My name is Joe Tadino. I perform around everywhere as the Electric Paisan. I'm going to play through my new EP, Cigarettes and Dandelions, and then if we got time at the end, I'll throw in a couple other tunes. I'm going to play right through the beginning. This is the very first song called Sad Boy Blues. I kinda hate myself, and I'm not quite full of love, but somehow I get greeted with a smile and a hug. I'm a child chasing rainbows, and I can't seem to cohere, and I can only vaguely tell you what I am doing here. I'm just rolling around, just can't figure it out. I don't lie for dates, but I'll certainly man all the things that make me feel like I'm a piece of shit. If you love me, I will fight you. If I love you, I won't let go. But if you ask me where I'll be soon, expect that I won't know. I'm just rolling around, just can't figure it out. I'm just hanging around, just can't seem to get out. I go inside my house, but not inside my head. And I don't see an outcome. When we're done, I'll end up dead. Don't know if I should fight it, or just try to live my life. But no matter what I do, I just can't feel right. I'm just rolling around, just can't figure it out. I'm just hanging around, just can't seem to get out. Thank you. So this is the pop punk single off the EP. It's about someone messing with you for their own gain and trying to break free. It's called Steel. I don't like the way that you won't stop before. You say something to me I just can't ignore. I know that it's a trap, but I take the bait. And every time I do it, it's always the same. I don't like the way that you say you will. Try try to treat me better, but you never do. Either you put it on me or ignore it. I feel I fucked up something and I don't know what. My head is always spinning and I don't know what is real. I'm losing what's inside me and I don't know how I feel. I know it's just your head and not your golden heart. You can only do so much to me before I fall apart. I don't like the way that you constantly use the fact you said to try to get to me. I fear if I don't play my part, I'll make you hurt. I feel so controlled and it makes me squirm. I'm running out of answers and I wish you would. Trying to find some help just like you know you should. Instead you put it on me or ignore it. But I can't keep you going or take another head. My head is always spinning and I don't know what is real. I'm losing what's inside me and I don't know how I feel. No, it's just your head and not your golden heart. You can only do so much to me before I fall apart. Only do so much to me before I fall apart. Try to do what's right, but I can see you struggling with your current mind. Please try to find a path that can help you start to heal. I can't take much more of this, I am not made of steel. My head is always spinning and I don't know what is real. I'm losing what's inside me and I don't know how I feel. I know it's just your head and not your golden heart. You can only do so much to me before I fall apart. Only do so much to me before I fall apart. You can only do so much to me before I fall apart. Next is another song about crappy mental health. Hospital, council finally saw me. Said I didn't have to stay. Job at a button factory. Mind, hope I can recuperate. My name is Joe. I'm not quite who I am. Passions make me quite shaky. Cling to the mold machine. Carefully mixing all the colors. Smile, see my buttons so pristine. Joe, I'm not quite who I am. Well, I work so hard here to keep myself up. I wish it didn't hurt to do the things I love. I can't stand another day but it's all I got. So I'll just stay All right. Let's slow it up a little bit. Moon gleams as I lay beside you, tracing the stars in your breath, constellations of lovers like us, sharing sweet tarts and space kisses. Tangled up in nebula blankets, surrounded by heavenly bodies. Find a planet, we'll hide for a while, sharing sweet tarts and space kisses. Oh, I get so down from things of the day, but hold up with you feels like I'm a world away. The stars are out, so hold me till the day. Dancing and gliding on moonbeams, twirling like a binary pair in the drizzle of meteor shower, sharing sweet tarts and space kisses. Thank you. All right. All right. So I'm coming to the end of my EP. So the last two songs were Button Factory and Sweet Tarts and Space Kisses. A little something to maybe fall asleep to or relax to. It's a little bit different. I got one more song off the EP. This is one of my favorite ones to play, just because it's so energetic and fast-paced. It's called Climate Don't Change a Thing. Earth is bound for disaster. My industry's got it made. People fleeing the rising oceans. There's so much money to make. They'll pay me to build a seawall, and crummy housing as well. And I've got so many bogus solutions that I'm ready to sell. The more disastrous the climate, the higher profits I'll make. People suffer and lose it all. That's just the price that they'll pay. People say that I caused this, but I won't take the blame. If anyone tries to prove it, I've launched my misinformation campaign. I'll still be rolling in money anyway, still be getting my honey every day. Even if people start to come for my head, they'll just be facing my guards instead. I won't be spending much time on worry, won't be changing my life all over it. Even though I'm destroying the world, I won't have to change a thing. Well, I might have to move one of my vacation homes. Oh well. Money anyway, still be getting my honey every day. People have to head for the hills, they're still gonna have to pay me my bills. Won't be spending much time on worry, won't be changing my life all over it. Even though I'm destroying the world, I won't have to change a thing. Ooh. Thank you guys so much. So that's my EP, Cigarettes and Dandelions. You can find it on all the major streaming services. If you come to one of my shows, which I've got one coming up, I'll tell you about it later, you can get CDs. You can buy it on iTunes, Bandcamp, wherever you like. Give it a listen. And well, I got one more for you today. I just got to step off stage for a sec to do a quick snip. I broke one of my strings during that last one. Bonus points if you noticed. All right, we're going to see what we can do with this one with 5 strings. This song's becoming more and more of a favorite of mine. I wrote it when I got nervous in the dating process, which is I think it only happens to me. I think I'm the only person that gets nervous while dating, but if I'm wrong, if you feel that way too, I hope you like this one. My worries must be a magician. They vanish and come back at will. My hopes and my dreams are their helpers, and the trio won't let me sit still. My neuroses, they make up the gallery. They gasp as they gaze at the show. And my demons, they sit on my shoulder. And like you, they come and they go. home, I look in the mailbox. All those shipments stopped hours ago. But I throw up that red flag anyway, in hopes that you'll pick up the phone. I go in and turn on the TV, but it's the same show I just left. It's poking me right in the eyeball, and it just won't let me forget. Every time I see your face, you always call me darling. And every time I'm left alone, my brain makes up a story. These damn old habits and old fears, they're almost just too much. But you could love me someday if I learned to wait and not to worry. All right. Rabbits, hats, and chains and ankles. But every time I see your face, you talk to me so sweetly. But every time I'm left alone, my brain makes up a story. Trying hard to hold it down, but I've almost had enough. But you could love me someday if I learned to wait and not to worry. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Make sure you stick around for the interview section.
All right, and thank you for joining us for the interview section of Between the Notes, a podcast that we're having here with Motif Magazine. And I want to just give a brief little shout out to the sponsors: Trinity Beer Garden, Rhode Island Indoor Karting, Grace Ale Brewing, and of course the Parlour Providence. Motif thanks you guys for the support and the viewers here for the podcast. And today we have Electric Paisan on the show, and you go by Joe, of course, right?
Yeah.
And give the audience a little background on who you are and what you play.
Yeah. So this project, Electric Paisan, was it was birthed like as a solo project. I've been like in and out of a few bands, and the one thing that always makes me happy is when I'm playing music, especially out for people. So I just always wanted to like have a project where I was playing, I really wanted to. I really wanted to keep it like a passion project and like as DIY as I could. Like you saw me like stomping on this like stomp box, like a tambourine, which honestly I bought as toys and have filled out my live sound a lot better than I thought. But and originally when I recorded my EP, I was gonna just go with that. But the more I worked on the songs and the more I kind of demoed them, especially after COVID hit and I had a lot of time on the computer that I could mess with it, I developed all the songs into full band arrangements. So I recorded all of that on my bedroom.
That's like pretty advanced level though to do in your bedroom, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
And so did you have anybody that you could reach out to, like, or help you along in the process?
Yeah, I definitely had people as I was like learning. There were a couple of people that ran like DIY studios in their apartments. They gave me advice for how to get away with doing drums in a small space, even though they swore up and down that I couldn't get like a pro level drum sound in a bedroom, which they may be right, but
or they may be snobs.
Or they may be snobs. It depends. I mean, I'm happy with how it turned out. It's one of my songs got some radio play, like afternoon. So
oh, good for you. How did that make you feel?
It was cool. One of the I forget his role. He might be the station manager. I forget, but someone at WRIU. His name is Jacob. He has a show called Long Live Rock, and he plays and the day he always plays a local song. And the day he played a song off of my EP, I listened to his whole program, and he plays a lot of really like he played a lot of really deep cuts. He's like a true music fan, this guy, and he it was really enjoyable to listen to his show, and I added a lot of stuff to my playlist.
That's really flattering that he's a real music fan, and obviously he works in the radio, and he wanted you to be part of the program. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Do you find that you've like naturally connect and make good connections with other musicians and like people like that in the area that can help you out with your music?
Yeah, I think for the most part.
I remember hearing you work with Corinne Southern, Constellation. So you network pretty well, right? With your shows.
Yeah, and I've had good experiences working with all the venue owners, putting on shows. I've been trying my hand more and more at that. I've got one that I haven't announced yet, but I'm gonna put the flyer up probably when I go home tonight. It's October 21st. It's a Friday. It's at dusk. It's me and 3 of my friends named Jake. So since it's a Halloween show, and once I had that lineup, I thought it would be fun because 2 of the Jakes are local, and we're all friends, and they're very fun people. So like it's me, Jake Hunsinger and his band, Jake Wasson and his band, and the third one is Jake McKelvey and the Countertops, who are from Northern Mass, but they've come down here a lot. And they're all like funny people. So I had this idea, well, they all kind of are flannel wearing and accessorizing kind of people. So what if I just made everyone wear a flannel and accessorize with whatever each one of them wears? Like one of them wears like a cowboy hat.
Yep.
One of them has recently started putting out a lot of eyeliner and stuff at his shows, and he does it so well that my girlfriend gets a little jealous. Maybe not jealous, but definitely like competitive.
It's a Bowie thing. It's like his performance persona.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
So you and the 3 Jakes.
Yeah,
Awesome. Joe and the three Jakes.
pretty
There
much.
you go. That's put it on the flyer.
Yeah.
Again, where's the show at?
It's at dusk.
Dusk?
And it's on Friday, October 21st.
Nice. Awesome. Spooky.
Yeah.
And you have that show coming up,
Mhm.
and what else do you have going on right now with your music?
I haven't been able to give a ton of attention as much as I've wanted to a lot of music as I wanted, because I've been in the middle of moving and getting acclimated to a new apartment.
So you're available for shows if people are looking for.
Yeah, yeah. I'll probably start trying to book some more of my own bills too, but I really want to focus on this October show. And also in the background, I'm working on another single that I hope to have out pretty soon.
Nice.
Also
And-
DIYing, recording it, and mixing it, and all the same.
Wow. All right. Yeah. It would be great to see the evolution from the EP to the single.
Yeah, for sure.
And again, about the EP, let's talk some more about that, because I saw you, when you released it, you did a big thank you to everybody who helped and supported and
Yeah,
put
I
it.
definitely had a lot of people listening to it. Some people letting me borrow equipment, and just getting advice and tips along the way, and even with some of the songwriting.
Where can people get it?
Pretty much everywhere. I went through a service that puts it out on all the major services. So like the popular ones, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, some of the more obscure ones like Tidal, Deezer.
And follow you on
And
Instagram.
follow me on Instagram, Facebook.
Shout out to the social media handles.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook. I have a Twitter. I'm not very active. If I notice I start to get a lot of followers, then I'll start posting there. But I feel like it's chicken and egg things. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
And follow the Parlor on Facebook and Instagram too.
Absolutely. It's always a good time to go to the
Motif,
Parlor.
of course. You guys are following us there. But yeah, so I think this has been really interesting. I like your music. You obviously have like a message and like a personal ethos that you're trying to convey about mental health and acceptance and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And have you had people like approach you and tell you like your music is impactful to them because of the messages behind it?
I've had some people that I've noticed like kind of like glom onto it. I don't know if they've come up and specifically said that, but I've had a lot of people come up to me and say that they recognize that I have like a message, and it definitely means a lot for you to notice that, and for anyone that tells me that to notice it, because that's the number one thing to me with music is just, I mean, the point is to make people feel something, and
Exactly.
I try to keep that as centered as possible, especially in this project where it's like a passion DIY project.
Yep. Yeah, and it's so powerful. Even a personal transformation and journey to like write music that you feel like has emotion behind it,
Absolutely.
and that you are like now letting other people feel what you feel. It's a gift. So good for you for following it. When did you start playing music?
Oh God, I've had a guitar in the house as long as I can remember, but in like 4th grade is when I took my first formal lessons on an instrument, and it was guitar.
Nice.
And then like I started on band instruments, and then getting more into later years in high school, I started buying recording equipment. One of my friends let me borrow their drum set for a week. I bought some odd instruments, like I bought a mandolin, bought a harmonica set. So I really just, my senior project, I took piano lessons. That was the one that I couldn't just naturally get. It was so different for me, because it's like,
I know what you mean.
because like you're like pressing buttons. Obviously, like to all the piano players out there, yes, I know it's very hard. That's what I'm saying. It's hard. But
I
like
play
that's,
piano.
but I'm so used to like bending, having an instrument that like fights me back with the physical strings. Like to go to buttons at its core is very different. It's not having natural, like I get very lost because I don't have natural. There's no natural like where you are. At least I hadn't developed that after a year of lessons.
Yeah.
So
But you seem like you speak the language of music,
Absolutely.
right? And so when it comes to playing guitar, that's your go-to. And you're a singer too, right? And
Yeah.
have you had to deal with, like, were you naturally just confident to sing ever since you were like a kid, or? Is that
Not
something you had to work on?
not really. That's one that I had to work on. That's one that I had to go back to lessons for. Corinne was my voice teacher for a while, so
Awesome. Shout out to Corinne.
absolutely. So that's how that relationship really
Nice.
took off. Other than that, we had seen each other around a lot in the scene, and we're friends.
Yeah, it's really nice when you can be mentored by people who are your peers because it's a reciprocal thing.
Absolutely, especially with getting to know because it's one thing to know how to play music, and then you get out there like, okay, now I gotta deal with like bookings and
The
promoting and all that
industry.
stuff. So definitely working with her for a while gave me a good introduction with some seasoned veterans, like because it was her. Allison Hammond is the drummer.
Right.
She's in a lot of bands. She
I think
knows
they're
around a lot.
in Electric Eclectic, I think is the name of
Allison
it.
is in Eclectic Electric,
And
Sugar
that's-
Cones.
I remember
She just joined
you
Heather Rose
guys.
and Clover.
Yeah, you guys played a whole show that was like Electric Paisan and Electric
Yeah.
Eclectic, and it was like the whole motif of the flyer. So I thought that was cool. And yeah, that band is sick. Shout out to them too. Follow
Yeah.
them, check them out. But yeah, you have a good little network of people that you
Absolutely.
know, musicians and artists, and you are obviously multi-talented in different instruments as well. And did you have a lot of support in your life for that to like follow your music?
Yeah, definitely. One of the biggest things was parents who somehow tolerated the noise, and like were willing to support me with like lessons and all of that stuff when I was really young, and I really think probably didn't recognize it at the time because like band was like a school thing, but like it was definitely like a good opportunity to like get out in front of people playing when I was young because I think that's really important because like I feel like I rarely get like really nervous when I go on stage. Like I mean I'm pretty confident generally that no matter what, like I'm not gonna like totally trip over everything. I mean I guess that's kind of evidenced by the fact that I played the song missing a string. Like that honestly just comes from jamming in my bedroom and breaking strings and just kind of whatever, I'll change it later.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's also like something that people encourage you when you like learning to play music for the first time is like don't just stop in the middle of just
Yeah.
keep the show must go on.
Yeah.
Is the saying.
Yeah, definitely had just having a lot of live experience from like school band and the extra credit programs like the jazz band. That's really important. I think that's important for anyone who wants to pick up an instrument, even if like because a lot of schools they still have like a lot of the band instruments, not necessarily a lot of modern stuff.
Right.
But I still think it's important to get like the playing in front of people
Oh
aspect.
yeah, it's a foot in the door for something much bigger. Obviously, as you know, well down the rabbit hole yourself as a performer full time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I definitely really with the whole when you're young and it's easier to learn the language of music.
Absolutely.
You know? And I do encourage people all the time, still, even as an adult, it's never too late to start
Absolutely.
following. If you have a passion for it, go for it for sure.
Yeah.
What would you give as like your advice to people who want to make an album for themselves like you did? What would you tell yourself before getting into it?
God. This is going to take longer than you think, even if you plan it out. But yeah, like you gotta have the passion for it, and
Yep.
just no matter what like skill level you're at, just start doing it. Whether you want to like just pick up your first instrument, pick up like a different instrument that you think you can't do, try to record an album. I mean, the very first recordings I made, I was like running like a tape. I was running like a tape deck, like a single tape, not like a mix professional, like literally just like a radio cassette. And then like I would play something back over speakers and then play over it. And then like from there, it got on to like laptops and free software, and then buying professional mics, and just I've heard a lot of really impactful music recorded on a lot of different media. I've heard people do like solo acoustic songs and phone recordings, and there were songs I would listen to over and over. So there's
Yeah.
no If you're just trying to get something out into the world that you're passionate about, there's really not much of a barrier, I think, except people
Telling you
thinking
not to.
people either telling you not to, thinking it needs to sound so good.
Perfectionism and imposter syndrome. Trust me. If we're
Absolutely.
talking to musicians, they're just feeling personally attacked right now.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm the kind of person that I do push and encourage people to follow these kinds of things, especially music,
Yeah, and it's
when
so
it has a message.
yeah, and it's so easy too in this day and age, like with the recording quality you can get even on a cell phone. Like I've gotten, like I've put my phone across my bedroom and played drums to it and layered stuff on. Like I've done multi-tracked recordings on my phones, and like especially if you have like an iPhone, they're known for putting really good microphones in. So like if you can do a phone recording and still have it sound halfway decent if you kind of mess around with where you put the mic in the room and where you're sitting and how loud everything is. You can do surprisingly well with just that.
Yeah. And, if you put some effort into it and you try really hard, TikTok too, you can even get a lot.
Oh yeah, TikTok show the stuff people are doing on TikTok. I'm just like, I'm impressed. I don't have the TikTok bone.
Yeah, I know, but it'll shift. But anyways, social media is a really powerful tool for musicians, especially because of the video aspect of it. It's just, it's really hard to make sure your message is landing where you want it to.
Yeah.
And I also see that a lot of musicians, not you, I actually saw you're very active on social media. A lot of people aren't, and I think it reflects the imposter syndrome all the way, when people just don't even put it out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying, I was checking out yours, and you definitely have like a lot of visual media, like photography. You also have, like, I feel like you have a sort of aesthetic and brand or whatever for you as an artist. And I really think when you start acting like that as an artist and really representing yourself that way, you're putting yourself in a whole different caliber of what you're trying to do with your music, and people take it seriously. So,
okay.
Like, good for you, because I see you on that kind of level for sure, the way you represent yourself. And yeah, your EP, and I think your whole like aesthetic for it, the pictures, the music, and everything, it really gives people a glimpse into you as a person.
Yeah.
And have you struggled with like being vulnerable, like writing about people or like situations? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I feel that way for sure. And I'm happy with how it all turned out in the end. All right.
So I think that I just wanted to again give people a little bit of background. Joe, Electric Paisan. What is the name of your EP?
It's Cigarettes and Dandelions.
Perfect.
It's probably really tiny.
And it's on all the platforms, and to follow you on social media, Electric Paisan, Facebook and Instagram. And I just want to, again, give a shout out to the sponsors, the Parlour. Motif Magazine's Between the Notes is sponsored by Trinity Beer Garden, Rhode Island Indoor Karting, and Gray Sail Brewing Company. And you can catch it every Monday at 7 p.m.